What is a key characteristic of effective verbal communication in a client meeting? A. Using complex technical jargon to appear knowledgeable. B. Speaking continuously to fill any silence. C. Using simple, clear, and concise language. D. Using long-winded examples to make your point. The correct answer is C. Using simple, clear, and concise language. Explanation. Effective verbal communication involves using language that is easily understood by the client. Complex jargon can confuse the client and hinder understanding. According to communication best practices, clear and concise language builds trust and ensures clients can make informed decisions. Which of the following is an example of nonverbal communication? A. Asking open-ended questions. B. Nodding in agreement. C. Giving a detailed explanation of a policy. D. Paraphrasing the client's concerns. The correct answer is B. Nodding in agreement. Explanation. Nonverbal communication includes facial expressions, body language, posture, eye contact, and gestures such as nodding. These signals reinforce verbal messages and can convey empathy, understanding, or attentiveness. What is the main benefit of asking open-ended questions during client meetings? A. To control the flow of the conversation. B. To lead the client toward a specific answer. C. To encourage the client to share more information. D. To test the client's knowledge of financial products. The correct answer is C. To encourage the client to share more information. Explanation. Open-ended questions prompt clients to elaborate, helping the advisor gather comprehensive details about their goals and needs. Unlike closed questions, they invite thoughtful responses and build rapport. How should a financial services professional clarify a client's objective if it is unclear? A. Wait for the client to volunteer more details. B. Rephrase the objective in their own words and ask for confirmation. C. Assume the most common client goal applies. D. Move on to other discussion points. The correct answer is B. Rephrase the objective in their own words and ask for confirmation. Explanation. Clarifying involves active listening and restating what the client has said to ensure accurate understanding. Confirming with the client builds mutual clarity and trust. Which of the following best demonstrates active listening? A. Thinking of your next question while the client is speaking. B. Interrupting to share your opinions. C. Making eye contact and summarizing key points. D. Looking at your notes while the client speaks. The correct answer is C. Making eye contact and summarizing key points. Explanation. Active listening is a core communication skill that includes giving full attention, maintaining eye contact, and paraphrasing to show comprehension. It assures clients their concerns are being heard. Why is it important to structure a client meeting with a clear agenda? A. It limits the time the client can speak. B. It ensures the discussion stays focused and efficient. C. It allows the advisor to sell more products. D. It prevents clients from asking difficult questions. The correct answer is B. It ensures the discussion stays focused and efficient. Explanation. A well-structured meeting with a clear agenda provides direction, helps manage time effectively, and ensures all important points are covered. Clients appreciate transparency and preparation. What is the purpose of presenting multiple financial options objectively to a client? A. To promote the advisor's preferred product. B. To comply with internal sales targets. C. To help clients make an informed decision. D. To reduce the advisor's liability. The correct answer is C. To help clients make an informed decision. Explanation. Objectivity in presenting options ensures that clients receive unbiased information about the pros and cons of each choice. This empowers clients to select the solution best suited to their needs. How should an advisor adjust their communication when working with a client who is unfamiliar with financial terminology? A. Speak more slowly using the same terms. B. Use analogies or simple explanations. C. Skip over complex concepts entirely. D. Ask the client to research the terms themselves. The correct answer is B. Use analogies or simple explanations. Explanation. Tailoring communication to the client's knowledge level enhances understanding and avoids confusion. Analogies, visuals, and plain language can make complex topics accessible. Which behavior may indicate that a client is uncomfortable or uncertain during a meeting? A. Maintaining steady eye contact. B. Crossing their arms and looking away. C. Taking notes and asking questions. D. Nodding and smiling frequently. The correct answer is B. Crossing their arms and looking away. Explanation. Recognizing behavioral cues is essential for understanding client emotions. Defensive postures, lack of eye contact, or fidgeting may signal discomfort, confusion, or disengagement. What should a financial services professional do before meeting with the client to ensure effective communication? A. Memorize as many financial products as possible. B. Rehearse the entire sales pitch. C. Review the client's file and prepare draft agenda. D. Plan to let the client lead the conversation entirely. The correct answer is C. Review the client's file and prepare draft agenda. Explanation. Preparation before client meeting includes understanding the client's background, setting objectives, and preparing supporting materials. Draft agenda ensures the meeting is productive and aligned with client needs. When a client becomes defensive during a conversation, what should the financial representative do first? A. Match the client's tone to show assertiveness. B. Pause the discussion and suggest rescheduling. C. Remain calm. Listen actively and acknowledge the client's perspective. D. Immediately escalate the conversation to manager. The correct answer is C. Remain calm. Listen actively and acknowledge the client's perspective. Explanation. Staying calm and showing empathy diffuses tension. Active listening helps the client feel heard, which often de-escalates the situation. Escalating too quickly can harm rapport, and matching the client's defensiveness is unprofessional. Which of the following best demonstrates compliance with documentation standards in New Zealand's financial services? A. Using personal opinions to describe the client's choices. B. Recording only options the client rejected. C. Objectively noting all options presented and the client's responses. D. Leaving out details to keep the record short and simple. The correct answer is C. Objectively noting all options presented and the client's responses. Explanation. Documentation must be factual, complete, and neutral to ensure transparency and compliance. This supports clear client understanding and accountability. If a client objects to a recommendation, the most appropriate first response is to A. Push back and insist you're correct. B. Explore the client's concerns with open-ended questions. C. End the meeting to avoid conflict. D. Offer discount to convince them. The correct answer is B. Explore the client's concerns with open-ended questions. Explanation. Open-ended questions invite dialogue and show you respect the client's views, which is key to handling objections professionally. Why should a financial advisor document both accepted and declined options during a client meeting? A. To reduce the amount of time in future reviews. B. To prepare for audits only. C. To maintain a clear record for transparency and accountability. D. To protect the advisor from being blamed. The correct answer is C. To maintain a clear record for transparency and accountability. Explanation. Recording all options and client responses ensures regulatory compliance and helps resolve disputes if needed. Which of the following is not a best practice when following up with a client? A. Share personal stories to build rapport. B. Confirm next steps verbally and in writing. C. Summarize key discussion points in writing. D. Provide contact details for future questions. A. Share personal stories to build rapport. Explanation. While rapport is important, follow-up should remain professional and focused on the client's needs. Oversharing personal stories can distract from the core message and is not appropriate in formal financial services communication. A client appears confused during a phone consultation. What should the representative do? A. Avoid repeating information to keep the call short. B. Pause and explain using simpler terms, then confirm understanding. C. Schedule another call without addressing the confusion. D. Ask the client to read the product guide on their own. The correct answer is B. Pause and explain using simpler terms, then confirm understanding. Explanation. It's essential to ensure the client fully understands the information. Rephrasing complex terms and verifying understanding are critical aspects of effective and ethical communication. What is one benefit of using a structured follow-up process with clients? A. It allows the advisor to make quick decisions unilaterally. B. It ensures accountability and client satisfaction. C. It reduces the need to document anything. D. It replaces the need for ongoing meetings. The correct answer is B. It ensures accountability and client satisfaction. Explanation. Structured follow-up supports transparency, helps manage expectations, and reinforces trust between advisor and client. It also ensures any action items are clearly tracked and fulfilled. Which of the following email practices should be avoided when communicating with clients? A. Using formal salutations and closings. B. Writing in all caps to emphasize urgency. C. Breaking long text into bullet points. D. Using a clear and descriptive subject line. The correct answer is B. Writing in all caps to emphasize urgency. Explanation. All caps are generally perceived as shouting and are unprofessional in business communication. Clear, concise, and respectful language is essential when emailing clients. If a client shares personal issues affecting their financial decisions, what should the advisor do? A. Listen respectfully and refer to appropriate services if needed. B. Offer a free financial product. C. Ignore it and move on. D. Give personal advice regardless of qualifications. The correct answer is A. Listen respectfully and refer to appropriate services if needed. Explanation. The advisor must remain empathetic yet professional, referring the client to qualified support. G. Counseling or legal advice ensures the client's needs are met without overstepping professional boundaries. How can you ensure clarity when using video conferencing to discuss complex financial matters? A. Use visuals, check understanding regularly, and confirm next steps. B. Avoid asking questions to prevent interruptions. C. Speak quickly to fit everything into a short session. D. Rely only on body language. The correct answer is A. Use visuals, check understanding regularly, and confirm next steps. Explanation. In digital consultations, combining verbal communication with visual tools and feedback techniques increases client comprehension and retention, ensuring the conversation is productive and clear. What is the best way to confirm that a client understands the financial product being offered? A. Ask them to explain the product in their own words. B. Have them read the product brochure silently. C. Ask, do you understand? And move on if they say yes. D. Have them sign the application form. The correct answer is A. Ask them to explain the product in their own words. Explanation. Asking the client to explain their understanding in their own words helps confirm comprehension. This aligns with Standard 4 of the Code of Conduct, which requires advisors to take reasonable steps to ensure the client understands the nature and scope of advice. When communicating with a client who has limited English, what is the most appropriate action? A. Offer to provide translated material or use an interpreter. B. Repeat your statements louder and more slowly. C. Use only English to meet regulatory requirements. D. Ask them to bring a bilingual friend instead of offering help. The correct answer is A. Offer to provide translated material or use an interpreter. Explanation. Providing communication in a language the client understands is part of treating them fairly. The Human Rights Act and privacy legislation require accessible and inclusive service delivery. What is a key principle of using plain language in client communication? A. Explaining technical terms in simple everyday words. B. Using abbreviations to save time and space. C. Referring clients to the product disclosure statement without further explanation. D. Relying on formal language to ensure professionalism. The correct answer is A. Explaining technical terms in simple everyday words. Explanation. Plain language means avoiding unnecessary jargon and ensuring that any required terminology is clearly explained. This enhances transparency and supports clients in making informed decisions, as emphasized in financial advisor best practices. A Pacifica client wants to include their family in the decision-making process. What should you do? A. Support the request and offer to meet with their family. B. Explain that financial advice should be private and one-on-one. C. Decline the request to keep the process efficient. D. Tell them you only deal with the primary applicant. The correct answer is A. Support the request and offer to meet with their family. Explanation. Recognizing and respecting cultural values such as collective decision-making in Pacific families is a key part of cultural competency. Advisors are encouraged to adapt their approach to meet diverse client needs according to guidance from the FMA. Why must advisors disclose any conflicts of interest when giving advice? A. To maintain transparency and protect the client's trust. B. Because it is optional but good practice. C. Because clients are unlikely to notice otherwise. D. To meet insurer policy requirements only. The correct answer is A. To maintain transparency and protect the client's trust. Explanation. Disclosure of conflicts of interest is legally required under the Financial Markets Conduct Act. It ensures the client is fully aware of any factors that might influence the advice and helps preserve trust and fairness in the advisor-client relationship. If a client is visually impaired, how should you provide key information? A. Offer to read documents aloud or provide alternative formats. B. Tell them to ask someone at home to explain. C. Provide the standard paperwork and assume they'll manage. D. Skip the written material and summarize briefly. The correct answer is A. Offer to read documents aloud or provide alternative formats. Explanation. Advisors must provide reasonable accommodations to clients with disabilities. This may include reading content aloud, offering large print versions, or using digital tools, ensuring clients can fully participate in the decision-making process. What action best demonstrates an advisor supporting informed decision-making? A. Providing disclosures and allowing time for the client to review options. B. Presenting only one product to avoid confusion. C. Asking the client to choose based on your recommendation alone. D. Repeating your advice without allowing questions. The correct answer is A. Providing disclosures and allowing time for the client to review options. Explanation. Advisors must ensure that clients receive all relevant information and are given time and space to consider it. This supports independent thinking, which is required by Standard 3 of the Code of Conduct. If a client seems overwhelmed, what should you do? A. Pause and reframe the discussion using simpler examples or visuals. B. Continue with the advice to stay on schedule. C. Recommend a quick decision to avoid further confusion. D. Hand them all documents to read at home without guidance. The correct answer is A. Pause and reframe the discussion using simpler examples or visuals. Explanation. Recognizing signs of confusion and adapting your communication helps ensure the client understands. Visual aids, analogies, or slow pacing are effective tools and support the plain language and comprehension principles in client communication. Why is it important to document all discussions and advice provided to a client? A. To provide a clear record in case of complaints or disputes. B. Because clients often misplace documents. C. So the client doesn't ask for clarification later. D. To fulfill internal marketing procedures. The correct answer is A. To provide a clear record in case of complaints or disputes. Explanation. Keeping accurate and complete records is part of legal and professional best practices. It provides evidence that the advisor fulfilled their duties and that the client received appropriate, timely, and accurate advice. What should you do if a client needs more time to decide on an insurance product? A. Encourage them to take the time they need and offer to follow up later. B. Urge them to decide immediately to lock in a good rate. C. Keep presenting more products until they pick one. D. End the conversation and suggest they return if interested. The correct answer is A. Encourage them to take the time they need and offer to follow up later. Explanation. Supporting informed decision-making includes avoiding pressure tactics and giving the client adequate time. This fosters trust and aligns with ethical standards in client engagement under New Zealand financial advice regulations.